In this video, we're going to go over some of the percent error practice problems that I'm going to give to you. There's some basic ones up here, the first four, where I just give you experimental and accepted. Be aware that experimental could be measured, and another word for accepted is known, so you could call it the same thing. So this would be your measured value, and this can also be referred to as your known value. So when you set these up, it's pretty simple. I always like to set them up like this. So there's your setup. In this case, they want the percent. On these first four, they want the percent error every time, so your x is always going to go there. And then they give you your measured value, which is going to be 1.24. Your accepted value. So again, you can put the 0 in or not. And then just be aware that your first step when you do these problems, I mean, there is another way to do it, being that the x happens to be on one side, but I'm just going to always show you the same way. You always distribute the 100 into the top numbers only, and then you solve for your answer. There will be an answer key for this, but I'm just showing you the setup on these. Remember to make sure that you show all your work. So if you can fit the steps on here, great. If not, you can put it on a separate sheet of paper or the back, and that's totally fine. I do want to do one of the word problems with you, mainly because number 5 and number 8 require a little bit more effort. But let's go over it. So we set it up. So there's my setup, and it says a student finds the density. Since the student did it, it is going to be your measured. So 2.85 is my density. It's my measured value. The reason I know it's measured is because it says a student finds the density. So that must have been done in an experiment. So it's a measurement. So it's called the measured. Then they want to know the percent error. So I put my x here, and then they say hint table S. So now the thing about this is, the reason I'm going over this problem is because it requires you to use table S. So table S is this page in the reference table. It's 2 pages, but this is the first one. And it's going to give you atomic number, symbol name, ionization energy, electronegativity, melting point, boiling point, density, and atomic radius. These are all considered to be your known or your accepted values because they're in a reference table, so they are considered to be correct. That's why we call it the accepted value. Everyone agrees that these are the right answers, or the known value. It's what everyone knows to be the true answer. So you can think of it like that. So for problem 5, it wants the density of a piece of aluminum. So I would go to aluminum, and then I would go over to the density column, and the density of aluminum is 2.70. So now I'm going to use that as my accepted value. And there's my accepted. When you go down to problem 8, they tell you to determine the melting point of iron. So again, you do the same thing. Melting point is one of the categories, and so you find iron, find the melting point, and then that'll be your accepted or your known value. The rest are pretty standard. Remember, the x doesn't always have to be in the percent column. There are 3 variables. You could have x in the percent error like we've done. It could be the measured value that is your x, or it could be the double accepted values that are your x. You should be able to solve for all of them no matter where the x is.